Okay, so apparently I'm addicted to Facebook Live things now that I know I can do this. I realized that this is like this amazing place for me to share all these ideas that happen like right after I get off a coaching call, live with people, super easy and fun. So I'm going to do it. So I just got off this amazing conversation with a coach, and we were talking about our personal intentions for what we do in our lives versus like what we tell clients or other people. And I realized that I lie to people all the time. When I talk to people about my coaching, when I talk to people about what I do for a living, I really focus on like what their problem is. It's kind of like a really basic business thing. Like, what is your biggest dream? What is your biggest problem? And how can I help you do it? How can I help you get there? But that's not actually really what I'm interested in. I'm actually interested in helping people make more money or helping people like go on better vacations. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. That's not me. That's not what my game is. And it reminded me of this story that's from the Lotus Sutra. So in this story, this king lives in this huge house, and it's a beautiful house. It's filled with all sorts of things, and he's got like a bunch of children, got tons of children, and they have all these amazing toys. And so he is in the house one day, and the kids are playing, and a fire starts. And the man smells smoke, and he knows the house is going to burn really quickly. And this is like, ancient Nepal. So it's a wooden house. The house is going to go up really fast. And his kids are playing with toys. And so he says, hey, kids, come outside. I want you to come outside with me. The house is on fire. And the kids don't believe him. They're like, oh, Dad, you're just kidding. You're playing a joke on us. This isn't real. And so he thinks, okay, maybe I can pick them up and carry them. So he picks a bunch of them up and starts to carry them outside. But he realized like he just can't pick up all the kids. It's going to be too many trips. It's just not going to be possible for him to come in to carry all of his kids outside. And so he doesn't know what to do because his children are ignoring him. They're not paying any attention to him, and the house is on fire. So what does he do? So he does this really interesting thing. He says, I have bought you all golden chariots, and if you go outside, you each get your own golden chariot. And this gets the kids' attention. They go, wow, a golden chariot. I would love a golden chariot. It'd be so cool, it'd be awesome. A unicorn driving it, that's amazing. I want to go outside and get my golden chariot. And so the kids all run outside, and they get outside as the house becomes engulfed in flames. And they become really mad at their dad. They're like, what are you doing? You promised me a golden chariot. There's no golden chariot here. And so then the father orders a servant to come and buy golden chariots, and then they show up and the kids are all happy. And so this simple story, this Buddhist story, is about this process called skillful means, which is our ability to offer something to people that they think that they want in order to give them the thing that they actually need. And the way we talk about this in coaching is we talk about it like we give our clients what they actually need, not what they think that they want from us. We don't give them what they want, we give them more than they ever thought possible. And so when I talk to clients, when I'm working with people, most people that I work with are stuck there's these four noble truths in Buddhism, which I'll go over in a minute. But most people are stuck at the first noble truth, which is that they realize that there's suffering. The first noble truth in Buddhism is that there is suffering. And most of us just live in that world. There is suffering. The problem is that people get stuck in the first noble truth and they never learn the second one. And they think that the way to get out of suffering is to get the things that they want, right? They think that if I get a beautiful wife, if I get a new car, if I get a wonderful house, if I can go on vacation, if I can get these people to like me, if I can build the perfect sales funnel, then I'll be happy. And then they do that thing, or they dream about that thing that they want, and maybe they get it, maybe they don't. And if they get it, then they want something else. They want a better sales funnel, or a younger wife, or a newer car, or a newer house. They want something else. And so this cycle just continues and continues and continues. The second noble truth is that suffering is caused by desire. And so you have to understand the relationship between your desire and suffering. So the first thing that I do with clients or people that I work with is I don't tell them that secretly what I'm going to get them to do is to wake up to their lives. I don't tell them I'm going to teach them like the tools they need to get out of suffering forever, right? I'm just like, okay, you're in the first noble truth. The only way I can communicate to you is on this level of the first noble truth and talk about the things that you want. Now, in my heart, I know that the process that I'm going to help them go through to get the thing that they want is going to change them. It's going to change the nature of their desire. It's going to change their relationship to suffering. But I'm not going to tell them that because they won't understand that. They're still living in this world where the way you get rid of suffering is by getting what you want. And so then the first thing I do with clients is I help them get really clear on, one, what is their suffering and what is it that they desire? And I start to connect the pieces for them between what is it I really want And what is the thing about why I really want it that it's making me so unhappy? Like, what is that? Why am I so attached to it? Why do I want that thing so badly? Why does it matter to me? And I help them get really, really comfortable and familiar with that desire, right? So they get really sensitive. So they really start to live in this world of the noble truth of understanding that suffering is caused by their desire. And that some aspect of that desire is not fully aligned with them being awake and being happy and being super amazing people. And once I get them really clear on that, then I offer to them this opportunity to change that, right? And that's where the third noble truth comes in, which is there's a way to get out of this. There's a way to truly get what you want. And the getting what I want that I'm offering to them, it may seem like, oh great, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to have a successful business. But what I'm really offering them is a way to be getting what they want all the time by changing the way they understand what they want and changing the way they relate to it. And so then we start to do this work of creating hope for them, creating this exciting vision for them as clients, as people. And as we do that work, like this amazing, interesting stuff starts to happen where they start to realize like, oh, cool, like it is possible for me to get out of this desire. Not just this immediate desire of the new house, the new car, the new wife, whatever it is, but there's actually a way to look at the underlying principles, the physics that rule their world to change this process of wanting and being unhappy because you can't get it, and not wanting and being happy because you are getting it. There's a way to fundamentally change this process. And then we start to do this deep work that coaching does, this deep work that religions like Christianity and Buddhism and Islam kind of ask us to do, this deep work at looking and understanding that so much of the suffering creating has to do with the way we're living our lives and the way we're holding ourselves up. And there's a ton of aspects, right? The Buddha cheats on this a little bit because he has these, like, the fourth noble truth is the eightfold path, and that's cheating, right? That's actually like a bunch of other steps. But that's not important, because even at this level, people don't need to understand exactly what the mechanics are to get them out of suffering. All they need to know, all they really need to understand at this level is, 1, there is suffering. 2, that suffering is connected to my desire, and I understand what that desire is. 3, there's a way out of that suffering, and if I start to work on these tools, I can get myself out of that suffering. So that's why I lie to people all the time as a coach and as a person. Because even in my friendship, I say, hey, do you want to hang out? But secretly in my heart, what the intention that I'm holding is I want to help them wake up. I want to help them. Ryan wants to know why I lie to people. I just told you, Ryan, I lie to people because I know that they're living in a world where there is suffering, and they think that the way to get out of that suffering is to get what they want. And in my heart, I know for myself and my own experience that the way to get out of suffering, the way to escape this process, is to do deep work on ourselves, and to understand who we are, to become aware of all these different aspects and forces in ourselves, the parts of ourselves that we really like, and the parts of ourselves that we don't like, and the parts of ourselves we've forgotten about, and the parts of ourselves that are 6 months old, that are still dealing with like drama that our parents created, like all of those different parts, and really to become aware and create a space big enough to hold all those things. I understand that. And because I understand that, the person that I'm talking to doesn't need to understand that. They don't need to know that. All they need to know is that I have an intention to love them and to help them, and I'm willing to show up to be their friend and their partner in that. And so it doesn't matter if I'm in a friendship or I'm in a coaching relationship or I'm in a class, because I hold that intention in my heart to help them wake up to suffering, because I have that intention in my heart to help them become better people, to show up to their lives in a more powerful way, to get in alignment with those things they actually care about most deeply, that's all that matters. And what I say to them really doesn't. Now, if I deceive them to manipulate them, that's kind of messed up. But if my intention is, I'm not going to tell you everything because I know you're not ready to hear it yet, but this intention in my heart is this powerful intention to serve you in an amazing way, that's all that really matters. So if you're a coach, or if you're in a serving profession, or even if you have a friend that you really, really, really care about, and you realize there's this thing about them that they need to change, or this truth that they see, and you're kind of like, I just really want to tell them, but you know they can't hear it, that's okay. Bring into your heart the intention of, this is why I'm showing up. This is my deep why of being in the world. And live into that. And look for opportunities to share that truth with them. But focus on that intention first. Don't worry about what you tell them. If they want to make a bunch of money, great. Tell them you can help them make a bunch of money. If they want to, sleep with a bunch of women, great. Tell them they can sleep with a bunch of women. What matters is as you start to do the work with them that you know will not only change their relationship to their desire by helping them achieve that thing, but also help them understand the nature of their desire in themselves so that they can become better people. So that's why I lie to people. I lie to people because it doesn't matter what I say to them. What matters is the intention I hold in my heart. And this is true, really true for coaches. Really true for coaches. You might know what's going to fix somebody, what's going to make somebody better. You can change this thing. That doesn't matter. What matters is what they want, what their problems are, and understanding that. And this is also important as a friend. If you have a friend or someone you really care about, don't worry about what you're saying to them. Worry about what's in your heart and how you're showing up to that relationship. If you focus on that, if you focus on the truth in your heart, and don't get too obsessed with every word you say being true and shoving the truth in other people's face, then you can create these really powerful relationships and opportunities for change. So, go out and lie to people with the right intention, and you can make all the difference in the world. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a wonderful day.